So you want to build a fire. Start by loading up some paper on the bottom and some kindling. I like to stack it in this kind of order and light it to get going. Now we wait for a moment to allow our kindling to catch from the paper fire. Now that our kindling's got a good fire going, let's add some pieces of wood to it. You got to make sure, keep these doors closed. I tend to like to keep this damper completely closed, and this one I like to turn to close and then just open ever so slightly. That'll keep the fire burning as long as possible and keeping the place heated as much as possible. The more you open the dampers, the more oxygen that gets in, your wood will burn faster. You want a nice slow burn, keeping the place nice and warm. Although it may look good to have the fire doors open, see a nice fire, but that could end up filling the whole place with smoke and actually not heating anything. Nothing but a rush of air going in and straight out without heating the cottage up. Also keep an eye on your temperature gauge here. This is the temperature gauge of coming off the stove itself. Okay, obviously try and keep it within your burn zone and outside of the overfire or the kerosene. Okay. Then you got your pipe temperature gauge too. Same situation. Try and keep that within the appropriate range there as shown. And on a final note, be very careful about touching any part of the stove with the pipe or even this fan. This fan here will turn on automatically with the heat. Okay, and help distribute some of the heat around the cottage. Disperse it out. When reloading, be very careful when touching. Only touch by the springed handles. Everything else will be piping hot, even your dampers. I will sometimes use my feet, or I'll use this pipe here to open or close the damper appropriately when reloading wood, or even controlling the fire. Like I said, to keep it in between the range, you can close it off if it's getting too hot to let the temperature cool down, and then once it gets down in the range, you can open it back up again to continue the fire.